3 habits that quietly ruin your future. Most people don't ruin their future overnight. It doesn't happen with one big mistake. It happens slowly, quietly, almost invisibly. No alarms, no warnings, no dramatic turning point, just small habits you repeat every day that feel harmless in the moment, but cost you years in the long run. Today, I want to talk about 3 habits that quietly ruin your future. Not obvious ones, not the usual advice you've already heard 1,000 times. These are habits that feel normal, comfortable, even logical, but if you don't catch them early, they slowly decide the life you'll end up living. Let's start with the first one. Habit 1. Waiting to feel ready. One of the most dangerous habits is waiting to feel ready. Ready to start, ready to change, ready to try. People tell themselves, I'll do it when I have more time, when I'm more confident, when I know more, when I feel motivated. But here's the truth no one likes to hear. Ready is a feeling that almost never comes first. Confidence doesn't appear before action. Clarity doesn't come before movement. Motivation doesn't arrive before effort. They come after you start. Waiting to feel ready is comfortable because it protects your ego. If you never start, you never fail. If you never try, you never get rejected. If you never move, you never feel exposed. But comfort is expensive. Every year you wait, life doesn't pause with you. Opportunities don't sit around patiently. Time keeps moving forward, whether you move or not. And slowly, waiting turns into a habit. You get good at delaying, good at explaining, good at convincing yourself that later is a smart decision. Until one day, you look back and realize, later turned into never. The people who build meaningful futures aren't braver than you. They aren't more confident than you. They just started before they felt ready. They were scared, uncertain, unprepared, and they moved anyway. If you take one thing from this section, let it be this. You don't need to feel ready. You need to feel willing. Habit 2. Numbing yourself daily. The second habit that quietly ruins your future is constant self-numbing. Scrolling, binge watching, overeating, endless background noise, always distracted. These things aren't evil on their own. The problem is when they become your default response to discomfort. Bored? Scroll. Stressed? Distract yourself. Anxious? Escape. Unhappy? Avoid thinking about it. What you're really doing is training your brain to run away from silence. And silence is where clarity lives. When you never sit alone with your thoughts, you never hear the uncomfortable questions. Why am I stuck? What am I avoiding? What do I actually want? Numbing feels like relief in the short term, but in the long term, it dulls your ambition. You stop feeling urgency. You stop feeling dissatisfaction. You stop feeling the pressure that pushes growth. And without realizing it, years pass. You didn't fail dramatically. You didn't crash. You just drifted. A numb life looks calm on the outside, but empty on the inside. The scariest part? You can be busy every day and still go nowhere. Stillness isn't the enemy. Avoidance is. Learning to sit with discomfort, without immediately escaping it, is a skill that changes lives. Because discomfort is often the signal that something needs to change. And if you mute the signal long enough, you miss the message entirely. Living on autopilot. The third habit is living on autopilot. Doing things because you've always done them. Because everyone else does them. Because it's expected. You wake up, repeat the same routines, react instead of choose, consume instead of create. Days blur into weeks, weeks blur into years. Autopilot is dangerous because it feels safe. Nothing's wrong enough to force change. So nothing ever changes. You don't question your direction. You don't audit your habits. You don't ask if your daily actions match your long-term goals. You assume that somehow, things will work out. But a future isn't built accidentally. Your life 5 years from now is just a collection of what you do today, repeated. Autopilot slowly steals your agency. You stop being the driver and become the passenger. And one day, you wake up in a life you didn't consciously choose. Breaking autopilot doesn't require a massive transformation. It starts with awareness, asking, why do I do this? Is this helping or hurting me? Is this habit moving me forward, or just filling time? The moment you start choosing intentionally, autopilot loses its power. None of these habits look dangerous in the moment. Waiting to feel ready, numbing yourself, living on autopilot, they don't scream, they whisper. But over time, they shape your future more than any single decision ever could. The good news is this: small habits can quietly save your future too. Starting before you're ready, sitting with discomfort, choosing intentionally, your future isn't ruined yet. It's just being negotiated, every day. and the choices you make after this moment matter more than the ones before it. Please subscribe for more and thank you for watching.